Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. What a wonderful morning it is. If you'd like to reach me, email address unclehenry@gmail.com. That's unclehenry@gmail.com. In the news headlines from Darwin just a few moments ago, he mentioned the mayor's race. Sam Jones has picked up an endorsement. AL.com reporting that workers for the Mobile Wave Transit System are supporting Sam Jones as he tries to become mayor again. John Sharp of AL.com reporting that yesterday the 75 members of the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 770 endorsed Sam Jones. They had an announcement outside the Wave Transit Systems terminal near the GM&O building in downtown Mobile yesterday. The person in charge, the president of the local union, said, quote, Mayor Jones is a great person. When Jones is elected, we look forward to working with him to put critical bus service that has been cut back onto the streets. And Mayor Jones, in turn, said that the public bus service hasn't been utilized to its potential and needs to be marketed better. Now, I understand we need it. There are members of the community that rely on it to get to work or go to the doctor or go to shopping, or for the wonderful fellowship of enjoying the company of fellow bus riders. I know that many people need it, but how do you market something like that? To me, it seems like if you need a ride, you know about the bus. And I don't think anybody's riding the bus because they prefer it to their own vehicle. Maybe I'm wrong about this, and maybe everybody on the bus has left their car in the garage. They just want to ride the bus. But I don't think that's the case. I don't know how you could market the city buses so that more people would use them. I think people that need them know they're there and use it. Now, this morning, as we've talked about this, the people that have commented on it to me have said about the same thing, and that is the only thing that could get them to ride the bus is if it wasn't the bus. So there's a problem there. But that's an endorsement for Sam Jones. The people that are in the union with the buses, the bus drivers, are all in for Sam Jones. We're going to check traffic and weather. We do it together every 10 minutes on the 9s, and then right back with more Uncle Henry Show.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
The drive this morning has really been a very quiet and uneventful experience without much to get on your way. I-10 still moving well as you cross the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel. Causeway and the Bankhead in good shape as well. A lot of road work, though. The southbound lane, left turn lane on the Foley Beach Express turning on to County Road 20 is closed for road work. That's expected to run through Friday. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
RVs Unlimited in Robertsdale, new and pre-owned. RVsunlimited.com.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. Well, we are going to heat up to about 90 degrees today. The midweek muggies, though, are back. So do expect that sticky air to produce a stray shower here or there. Our coverage would be at about 20%. We'll have a 70% chance of rain, though, as we head into Thursday and Friday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.
A more peaceful, healthy world happens one person at a time. Around the globe, there are children who dream of helping their families, who hope for the future, and who have a name. Know the person you're helping directly at unbound.org.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 10 minutes, a new edition of Dear Ariel, where we compare the answers of Ariel to the answers of Abby from the Dear Abby column. Here's a story that falls under the umbrella of federal spending. And remember, we've been told that we just don't have the money really to do anything. To build the bridge, there's just not money on the governmental level. And the story is about NASA hiring a planetary protection officer to defend Earth from aliens. Now, this sounds ridiculous. The story says that NASA has created a full-time job, planetary protection officer, that will involve ensuring that alien matter will not infect Earth and that we humans do not contaminate other planets and moons. And the pay is going to be around $187,000 plus benefits. The job post reads, planetary protection is concerned with the avoidance of organic, constituent, and biological contamination in human and robotic space exploration. NASA maintains policies for planetary protection applicable to all spaceflight missions that may intentionally or unintentionally carry Earth organisms and organic constituents to the planets and other solar system bodies. So, look, they don't want us to contaminate other planets. So this is going to be somebody that's going to pass out wet wipes. Seriously, somebody who's going to go to the astronauts and say, don't forget your wet wipes, and here's some gloves that we spent $500,000 on these gloves. I mean, seriously. Don't contaminate those rocks. There's nothing on the moon but what? Dirt and rocks. Be careful. Don't leave a germ on the moon. Make sure that you wash your hands before you get off the rocket. This is just ridiculous. And somebody coming back. We send somebody to Mars and they're coming back. So this person, what is this person going to do? Scrub the astronauts when they come back? For $187,000? This is just, and it's a 3-year position with a chance to extend it to 5 years. How many times are we going to go to another place and come back in 3 to 5 years? This just sounds like such a, and I know it's just a drop in the bucket when it comes to expense, but what a ridiculous job and waste of money. We cannot afford to build a bridge, but we can afford to hire somebody to hand out wet wipes to astronauts. All right, look. Dear Ariel is next. We compare Ariel's answers to the answers of Abby. That's coming up next on the Uncle Henry Show.
If you're ready for a magnificent man cave, TSI Alarms and Audio will handle your home theater design, equipment, and installation. Call them at 251-662-0500 or visit them online at thetsigroup.com.
What's the matter, Bunky? Not focused today? Dreaming about the open road on board a new Harley-Davidson? Well, like it says on the website at PensacolaHarley.com, don't just sit there, take one for a test ride. You can take a free test ride on any Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and you can schedule your test ride in advance using their scheduler at PensacolaHarley.com.
Here we are on Facebook. Let me see if there's anybody watching on Facebook. I have not paid attention to Facebook yet in this hour of the program as I'm getting ready for the Dear Ariel segment. Let me look. Oh, yeah, they're actually people watching. Good morning to you, people. Good morning to you. RJ, Roger Bird, Tuskers, KP, Bama Big Man. Good morning to you all. All right, let's see. Before we go into a new edition of Dear Ariel, there's another weird story I want to hear. There's an annual fashion show for cats being held this week in New York.
It's at the cat-loving Algonquin Hotel, where 8 kitties will be featured this year, including a tabby named Hamlet. They'll strut down a catwalk in one-of-a-kind outfits inspired by Tony Award-winning musicals. Cast members from the Broadway revival of Cats will also perform. Tickets cost $60, with proceeds going to the Mayor's Alliance for New York City's Animals. Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio, New York.
All right. There's a lot of things I could say about that story that I'm not going to say. A lot of things. But that sounds like a cheap $60 ticket. That sounds pretty inexpensive for the cat fashion show. What's more cruel, greyhound racing or the cat fashion show? All right, bear with me. I need to get ready here for the Dear Ariel segment of the program with new letters to Abby that Ariel will answer. All right, let's see. How do you the way you justify the cat fashion show is it's for charity. That's the only way that you can justify the cat fashion show, that it's for charity. Let's see. All right, we are ready for Dear Ariel here. By the way, it looks like we get Abby 3 times a week in our newspaper. It looks like in the days that we're not getting Abby, she's having a big gun safety battle with her readers. That sounds like fun to read about, right? Not as much fun as a cat fashion show. All right, stand by. We go back to radio.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
We're definitely going to have some weather changes on this Wednesday. All that tropical air is going to be making a comeback, so it is going to feel sticky at times. We're going to top out today around 90 degrees, a 20% chance of showers, lows tonight in the 70s, and then the rain ramps up for Thursday and Friday with a 70% chance, and it looks like it's going to be a wet weekend as well. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
Your home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM. The Jag coming up in about 10 minutes. News from Fox, news from Darwin of Local 15. Right now, it's time for a new edition of Dear Ariel. This is where we take a letter that was originally sent to Dear Abby, and instead we pose it to Ariel so we can compare and contrast the answers of Ariel, the young, vigorous millennial, and Abby, the old, decrepit, elderly newspaper columnist. Are you ready, Ariel, for your letter?
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, I'm kind of ready.
All right, here is your letter. Dear Ariel.
Okay.
When my husband and I were dating, he told me that he had had a consensual, blankual relationship with his cousin, Irma.
Oh, Irma.
He said they were in their early 20s and very immature. They parted ways because they both knew it was wrong, and Irma moved to another state. He told me so one day I wouldn't be blindsided should we ever be married. Well, we got married, and this cousin has kept her distance until recently. Irma has now started to attend family events. We live too far away to go, but I dread the day when we do and she's there. Ariel, should I act like I don't know what went on before I was in the picture? Nobody in this family knows this ever happened between them. I've told my husband it makes me very uncomfortable and that it almost seems she attends hoping to run into him. Why else would she attend? I would be very ashamed of having done this and would continue to keep my distance. My husband says I have nothing to worry about because Irma means nothing to him. What do I do, Ariel, if I do run into this woman at one of these family gatherings? And that letter is from Not Happy in the USA.
First of all, your husband is nasty. His cousin? Ew. Irma? I can only imagine what Irma looks like. Her name's Irma. Okay, so anyway, to the topic at hand. First of all, sis, like, you're going to have to dial down the dramatics about, I don't know, maybe 12, 45, 100%, dial down the dramatics. Like, why the only reason she's attending family events is because she wants to run into her cousin? Girl, she's attending family events because she's related to these people. Again, like, you have got to dial back the drama a whole 100%. And come into the rest of the world with everybody else. It was before you. It doesn't matter. Stop being insecure, because that's what this is really about, your insecurities, and let it go, let it flow. Toni Braxton said it best.
Is that what she said? Let it go, let it flow?
Yes. It's a whole totally different concept, but let it go, let it flow works here.
All right. Now, Abby's answer is different.
Obviously.
Abby writes, I know it may be uncomfortable, but when your paths finally cross, be polite. You don't have to do anything but exchange the basic social amenities and spend your time socializing with the other relatives.
Well, that was short and sweet.
That was very short. She didn't mention counseling.
Finally.
She didn't do any of the other stuff. She didn't say let it go, let it flow.
Yeah, because Abby will never point out that these people are being extra dramatic, because maybe they'll never write her again.
Well, you're right. She depends on drama.
Right. I've got nothing to lose.
Very good. Thank you, Ariel.
You're welcome.
Another edition of Dear Ariel. Let it go, let it flow. Yes, these letters to Abby. Is it? It's either. Are there real people that still write, Abby? Is it interns? Does Abby go and get college interns to write letters? Or did she just save all the letters from her mother's career and just reruns the letters, maybe switching the genders around for a modern take on all of this? We'll probably never know, because no one else is interested except me. All right, as I mentioned, we have news coming up in just a few minutes here from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin. Talked a lot today about the the buses and how the people that work for the Wave Transit have endorsed Sam Jones. And I do have an email on the topic. Email subject line is Mobile Buses. Email reads, do you know if the buses have speakers to play the Sam Jones song? Can the riders feel the bass? And that email from Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles, thank you for listening. Give my best to Mrs. Pickles. And he's, of course, talking about the Sam Jones campaign song.
Where we from, Mobile, Alabama. We work on our mobility, busy to be divided. Sam Jones is that man, Sam Jones is that man. Sam who, Sam Jones, Sam who, Sam Jones. Where we from, Mobile,
So,
Alabama. We work on our mobility, busy to be divided.
so you're wondering if the bus drivers will play this song to the people on the bus to campaign for Sam Jones? I don't know.
Jones, Mobile's mayor, bringing jobs, filling homes, couldn't have a better mayor. Too busy to be divided, too busy to clean the
That actually would make me more likely to ride. If I knew I could hear that every time I got on the bus, I might be more likely to take the bus. Leave my car in the garage and just enjoy the ambiance. News is next, along with traffic and weather, and then more Uncle Henry Show.
Last week, police say Sergio Jose Martinez broke into the apartment of a 65-year-old Portland, Oregon woman. Martinez is accused of binding the woman's hands and feet and brutally sexually assaulting her. Following that attack, Martinez allegedly confronted another Portland woman, this time in a parking garage, and threatened to kill her with a knife. Sergio Jose Martinez, a Mexican national, is no stranger to law enforcement. Police records show that he's been arrested at least 20 times. Rap sheet includes hit-and-run charges, burglary, drug possession, and auto theft. He's been deported 13 times, most recently in November of 2016. After Martinez was jailed the last time, ICE lodged an immigration detainer against him. But like many Oregon counties, this one offers sanctuary to illegal immigrants, and police are forbidden to help immigration officials. So Sergio Jose Martinez was allowed to walk free. We've seen enough of these cases to know the drill. The plights of the victims, like the brutally assaulted 65-year-old woman, are of no interest to drive-by media news outlets. And the liberals who run these sanctuary cities are never held accountable for the lethal consequences of their decisions. Their sympathy is safe for those who commit these vicious crimes while in our country illegally. It's time to end this, President Trump.
And hello to Facebook. We're in a radio break for news, traffic, weather, and all that garbage. Thank you for watching on Facebook. Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com. Scotty, would you be adopting a greyhound? Let's see. Let me return to I was looking at various stories. We had the cat fashion show. We had the planetary defender. Lots of stuff coming in to our studio that's brand new in the news. Let me see if there's any more. Let's see. No, I think I saw that we had the story earlier about Kim Kardashian being sued for $100 million, and then I saw that Kanye West is suing somebody else for $10 million. So, if you're looking for a good job, I'd say being a lawyer for the Kardashians would be a good job. There seems to be a lot of lawsuits going on there. But that's all we've got on odd news for this morning. What have we missed in the newspaper? what have I not mentioned to you? Let's see. In the press register, if you're wondering if you should buy a paper, tips on making an angel food cake. So there's a big, just look at all that story on angel food cake. There's more on angel food cake than there is on the Senate election in Alabama, which, by the way, I'd rather read about angel food cake, but that's what they've got. Also, how to avoid meat that's blackened on the outside and raw on the inside. In this, it's wonderful in that it looks like the paper is being deliberately designed for 80-year-old women. Okay. All right, Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com has informed me he is not getting a Greyhound. I was just curious. There are Greyhounds, now that Mobile Greyhound Park is closing down, there are going to be Greyhounds that need somewhere to go. Now, if I were to, is it illegal if I were to get a bunch of these Greyhounds and let them pull me around in a wagon? You know, like sled dogs in the north. We're all aware of these sled dogs that pull people around. If I were to get me a bunch of these Greyhounds and have them just pull me around, wouldn't that would be, I wonder how many Greyhounds it would take to tow the Uncle Henry van around the streets of the city of Mobile. They could be famous like the Clydesdales. I know, it's never going to happen, just like the blimp travel. Never going to happen. All right, stand by. I need a moment before we go back on the radio.
Tough choices, and now big things are starting to happen here in Mobile.
Thanks to Sandy, Mobile is on solid financial footing.
We have new police cars, fire trucks, roads, and parks.
Businesses are moving here.
And we have cruise ships back in port. The momentum is real. Let's not stop now.
Re-elect Sandy Stimpson from mayor.
Paid for by Sandy Stimpson from mayor. P.O. Box 70106, Mobile, Alabama 36670.
Did you wake up this morning and think to yourself, I sure am hot? Or maybe you woke up in the middle of the night thinking how hot you are? Well, with a new Daikin indoor comfort system from Baldwin Heating and Air, you can cool down and save money, which is pretty cool itself. Plus, for a limited time when you install select qualifying Daikin brand indoor comfort systems from Baldwin Heating and Air, you'll receive a Comfort Cash rebate up to $1,500 instantly, or take advantage of no-interest financing options so you can start saving immediately, which, once again, is very cool. And Baldwin Heat and Air has been right here in the community for over 20 years with our factory-certified technicians. So we're here if you ever need us. Call the professionals at Baldwin Heat and Air today and start saving on your brand new Daikin indoor comfort system. After all, nobody wants to wake up hot, right? And hurry, Daikin special offers end August 31st. Call 251-626-1159 or visit BaldwinHVAC.com. Alabama license number 99108.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT, home, safe home.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM, The Jag. Mentioned that the people that work for the Wave Transit System, that union endorsing Sam Jones for mayor, Sam Jones getting an endorsement. And I have an email about this. Subject line on the email is Wave Bus. Email reads, Henry, if I was a bus man, I would support Sam Jones too. If he is elected again, Mobile will begin circling the financial drain. I'm sure the cruise ship will leave again like they did when he was in office. I'm sure the bus ridership will increase along with Mobile's unemployment. And that email from Buford. Buford, thank you for your email. By the way, another one of the complaints from the people that are endorsing Sam Jones, this is something I'd not heard before. The Wave drivers endorsing Sam Jones, and they say that establishments including Bel Air Mall, Mobile Infirmary, and Spring Hill Memorial Hospital have moved their bus stops off-site. And this has caused unnecessary inconveniences to transit riders and rendered those locations all but inaccessible for the elderly or disabled that are using the Wave. I didn't realize that that different places were moving their bus stops off-site. And I don't know if it's, is it the city that did it or the establishments themselves that did it? But that's something I had not heard. As an elderly person myself, I am in favor of you dropping me off, almost putting me in the building. If there was a way you could wheel me in, or if there could be a ramp that you could just roll me down the ramp and have me roll into the building. But Buford, thank you again for your email. We have traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 FM The Jag, and then we'll continue. There's more to get to on the Uncle Henry Show.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We haven't had too many big accidents on the board, but one that we picked up now is a crash on the eastbound side of Highway 98 at Mary Esther Drive. We are seeing some delays starting to snake through the area there, so be aware of that one. Again, Highway 98 eastbound direction through Mary Esther. No big accidents or breakdowns, though, if you're traveling I-10 across the Bayway so far this morning. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Lazy Boy.
It's Bess at Lazy Boy, making your living room rock. We're talking about the wow factor, you know, the soul of the house where you gather, watch TV, read, visit, live in it. Is it neglected and sad or loving and hugging? Because if it's sad, we can turn that frown upside down by making your living room rock.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. Well, we are going to heat up to about 90 degrees today. The midweek muggies, though, are back. So do expect that sticky air to produce a stray shower here or there. Our coverage would be at about 20%. We'll have a 70% chance of rain, though, as we head into Thursday and Friday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's.
Introducing McDonald's Happy Annie Hour. Enjoy refreshing deals all day, like soft drinks for $1, small McCafe Delights for $2, and medium Minute Maid slushies for $1.49. Be Happy Annie Hour at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for continuing to listen to the Uncle Henry Show. Talked a lot yesterday about the closing of Greyhound Park. End of an era in Mobile, Alabama. I was looking at several news stories on it with Local 15 reporting that 400 greyhounds. Now, if you're unfamiliar with greyhounds, those are dogs, not buses. They're dogs. 400 greyhounds will have to be adopted or relocated, which that is, that I didn't realize there were that many involved in all that. 400 greyhounds that will be either moved or adopted by someone. Are you going to adopt a greyhound? Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com. Somebody I thought of as a greyhound adopter. Let's see. Let me go to the email inbox. I've got an email about greyhound adoption. Subject line on the email is greyhounds. Email reads, Uncle Henry, I have had friends and college professors who have adopted greyhounds. You have to be careful with greyhounds. For example, when walking a greyhound, you have to use a special leash that has a certain slack in it. It prevents them from choking themselves or snapping their own necks if they attempt to dash away from you. That said, they usually are very pleasant dogs. And that email from KP. KP, thank you for that. That would not be a good fit for me because the greyhound wants to run and I want to sit or lay down. So I need to find dogs that will sit and lay down most of the time and never want to run. So I'm not a good match for the greyhound. They'd be very upset if it would be almost if I were a human anchor on the greyhound. But I wish them all the best. That's 400. That's going to be quite an operation trying to find homes for 400. By the way, the president has just tweeted. He has just tweeted. His tweet reads, small business owners are the dreamers and innovators who are powering us into the future. And then he puts out a link that he wants us to click on. So if you're a small business owner, the President of the United States is shouting out about you today as a dreamer and an innovator. Congratulations to you. I've been waiting for tweets this morning from President. I had to think too much today, and I was hoping to avoid having to think too much, and thank goodness the President has started tweeting, which can give me a little rest mentally. We'll wrap it up next on the Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening.
Today at 2, Sean Hannity.
How much is a condom?
Can we talk about health care?
Options.
There we go.
This size.
Oh, boy.
This flavor.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
Career Congressman Mo Brooks. Like a lot of politicians in Washington, Brooks plays political games. Like siding with Nancy Pelosi and the liberals, voting to cut off funding for our troops fighting ISIS. You heard that right. Mo Brooks voted with Nancy Pelosi to cut off funding for our troops, risking their lives to fight ISIS. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. American soldiers fought for us, and Brooks and Pelosi fought to cut their funding. Now Brooks continues attacking Donald Trump. More Washington games. Instead of apologizing for his attacks on Trump, Brooks told a local radio station he stands by them.
I have never taken back any of the words or comments I made.
Career Congressman Mo Brooks, wrong on Trump, wrong for Alabama conservatives. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any
Hey, Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Here we are, our final segment of the program. Is coming up on the Uncle Henry Show. I saw a story this morning before I came to work about the Volocopter, which is, we've talked about it before on this show, the Volocopter is a passenger, it's like a flying taxi. And it's going to be like, I guess it's going to be like sitting in a remote control drone or something. But they're going to start using it before the end of the year in Dubai, where you can pay to take the taxi in the sky. I'm going to wait for them to just perfect it with other people before I get involved in it. They're just... I don't want to have somebody, I don't want somebody operating, if I'm going to fly, I don't want it to be remote control where somebody's not with me flying it. Because if they're in it with you, they're going to do everything they can do to avoid crashing. Because they don't want to crash their own body. But if they're not in there with you, they might be flying you remote control and then see that somebody texted them and then go look at their text messages. I am not going to let somebody fly me around remote control. I want the pilot in there with me if I'm going to fly in some taxi, flying taxi. All right, we are about to head into the final segment of the show, so please stand by.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
You may not think about the sounds you hear every day, but somebody has. The voice in your phone.
How can I help you?
The effects in your video games. The sounds in your favorite movies. There are people and stories behind every one of them. I'm Dallas Taylor, host of 20,000 Hertz, a podcast bringing you the stories behind the world's most recognizable and interesting sounds. Search for 20,000 Hertz now on iHeartRadio.
Authorities in Mary Esther are still trying to clear an accident that occurred on the eastbound side of Highway 98 at Mary Esther Drive. Looks like they've got it out of the roadway now, but we're still seeing some pretty good slowing there. We haven't had many I-10 problems at all today. If you're traveling across the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel into downtown Mobile, the drive on the Causeway through the Bankhead, that remains in good shape as well. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Always Money.
Always Money.
Need cash for back to school? Visit Always Money for a cash advance up to $500 or ask about their auto installment loans for more money and more time to repay. Visit alwaysmoney.com to get started. Loans subject to approval.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
We're definitely going to have some weather changes on this Wednesday. All that tropical air is going to be making a comeback, so it is going to feel sticky at times. We're going to top out today around 90 degrees, a 20% chance of showers. Lows tonight in the 70s, and then the rain ramps up for Thursday and Friday with a 70% chance, and it looks like it's going to be a wet weekend as well. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Talked a lot today about the buses. Former Mayor Sam Jones getting the endorsement of the bus union. And the mayor saying that the buses need, the former mayor saying that buses need better marketing. Maybe a jingle. Maybe more people would ride the bus if there were a catchy jingle. Or if you painted them Alabama and Auburn colors. Ariel, join me here. I just want to run this by you again. What would it take? You're a young, happy, vigorous, healthy millennial that's taking pole fitness and working her way up in her career. What would it take to get you to ride the bus?
A trolley.
So you would want it to be not a bus. You'd want it to be a trolley.
It would have to be a trolley, just like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
And it needs to be a trolley because that's more fun?
Right. Trolleys are cool. Buses, not so much.
But in a town,
they're a necessity, but they're not so much cool.
We're one of the rainiest places in the country, and certain months of the year, very swampy.
Right.
You'd still ride on a trolley even if it's 92 degrees with 100% humidity?
Yeah, because you know how they have those Jeeps that don't have doors or windows and stuff, and then all of a sudden it starts raining and boom, out comes the windows. It's the same concept. You just have a little covering that can convert it quickly.
So if it were a trolley, you'd ride it.
Absolutely.
But because it's a bus, you don't want to get on it.
No. Or a monorail. I'd ride a monorail.
You'd ride a monorail.
Yeah. Don't you think that would be cool?
It would be. It doesn't seem like we could ever afford it.
No.
Under any a trolley sounds like that could actually happen.
Yeah, right. That's not going to happen either.
Well, what we could do, Ariel, is we could cut parts out of the Uncle Henry van and make it open air.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And then we could charge people thousands of dollars just to ride on it because A, it's Uncle Henry, and B, where else are you going to find this?
That's right. All right. Thank you, Ariel. Ariel telling us the only way to make her ride the bus, make her want to ride the bus, would be if it weren't a bus, if it were a trolley. Well, let's see. I've got an email about the bus. Let me go to the Uncle Henry Show email inbox. Subject line on the email is the bus. Email reads, actually, I did choose to take the bus to Dolphin Street Beer Fest, choosing the bus as my designated driver. I got to the stop near my house about 5 minutes before the bus was due. It never showed. Turns out the drivers don't always adhere to the schedule and often get ahead of schedule if they aren't making enough stops. And that email from Dan. So the bus did not show up because the bus, I guess, was running ahead of schedule. Is it that bad that so few people are riding that they don't even have to adhere to a schedule? Well, earlier in the morning, Johnny Gwynn of JohnnyGwynn.com suggested that the only way to market buses is to have a period of time where it's free to ride the bus so that people would try it, and then you would hope and pray that some of the new people would decide that they liked it. But it's just not This is just not going to happen. I don't think any amount of marketing will help the bus situation. I understand it's necessary. Some people really rely on it, but it's never going to be big enough numbers to expand service. And as far as a monorail, if there was a loop to the flea market monorail, I know that's cost prohibitive, but if there was a way, if I could take a monorail to the flea market, now of course that maybe you'd have to make it to the airport with a way for me to get off near the flea market. But something like that, a way to go in the same direction as Airport Boulevard without having to stop at red lights, that would be nice. But we're just not transit. We're not mass transit here. This is just, we would be more likely to all want to take Uber. In fact, if instead of buses, if there was some subsidized Uber, some Uber voucher, that would be more likely to be used. It's just the way we're made up here locally when it comes to mass transit. All right, just about out of time on the program. If you want to review any of the material from today's program, a lot of it is available via podcast. Go to newsradio710.com and look for the word podcast. It's there. And then you'll be able to find some excerpts of the program. Also, video, you can go to the Uncle Henry page at newsradio710.com a little while after the show and find all of the video. And if you're a radio listener, there's a lot of extra content on the video. For example, today we talked about the Cat Fashion Show. That's available on the Uncle Henry page at newsradio710.com. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. Remember, we do have a Jeff Sessions news conference allegedly coming up Friday about leak investigations. And we know that from a leak. An unnamed source leaked that there's going to be a press conference about leaks. So I'm looking forward to that coming up Friday. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching The Uncle Henry Show.